On April 18th, 1987, Sarah Tobias stopped for a drink at a bar called The Mill.
Go for it, Dad!
It's an ugly case. She was gang raped.
It just didn't go with cleavage. Robert, I want to thank you for everything, for your bat-crazed, rapid-fire brain, the sweet intro. I am single.
It wasn't Y2K. It wasn't even the carbon price.
Enthusiasm. Can I get a wolf whistle or something? Please.
It turns out that the Mayan calendar was true. While Australia's best and brightest at the CSIRO have not been able to confirm this, I'm confident in Triple J's prediction.
Forward TV. The world is thinking.
Samuel Huntington, the professor of political science at Harvard. Quote, unlike past immigrants, Mexicans and other Latinos have not assimilated into mainstream U.S. culture, forming instead their own political... You're already shaking your head. No, get the reaction shot here.
The guy needs to get out more.
Let me do him the justice of finishing the quotation.
Okay.
The persistent inflow of Hispanic immigrants threatens to divide the United States into two peoples, two cultures, and two languages. Question, is Florida in any way becoming two cultures and two peoples?
No. And Professor Huntington, who I'm sure is a really smart man, needs to truly get out of the zip code of Cambridge. And so does Tom Tancredo. And so do the people that use this, not Dr. Huntington, but politicians that use this as a wedge issue. It's a loser. And if you believe in conservative principles and you want conservatives to win, to implement those principles, to totally disown a group that is the only group that is growing in our country and is as American in their pursuit of the traditional dreams that people pursue here as any other group, I think we do it at our peril. I mean, it's bad, it's wrong, and it's stupid. And the combination of being incorrect and stupid is just very dangerous in politics.
Once convinced bin Laden was a threat to America, O'Neill began a campaign within the FBI to sound the alarm.
The first time I ever heard the name Osama bin Laden was from John O'Neill. And John O'Neill was very much aware of who he was, who his group was, Al-Qaeda.
Over time, Robert Bear Bryant would become second in command at the FBI.
He was a person that I had immense personal regard for.
Watch out! You might get what you're after. Ooh, baby, strange but not a stranger. I'm an ordinary guy, burning down the house. Hold tight, wait till the party's over. Hold tight, we're in for nasty.
Well, I want to point out that I was only 5 when I started, so I'm still very young. I'm so bad with punchlines or joke setup. I can either remember the setup or the punchline. I don't usually remember both. So I decided I would be the comic that you could look at immediately and tell they're terrible, they would never make it ever. And that's how it started.
Function and stop interfering with all their regulations and all their central planning.
Sure, but forget even the thing about Obama. This is bigger than that.
Right, but he's talking about fairness. Why is it fair that my tax dollars are going to subsidize Solindra's loans?
Well, but the thing is...
So I guess it was really only performance art to me because no one ever knew at the time that I was a different person. I was always billed as Pee Wee Herman. I did my interviews as Pee Wee Herman. I went many years without ever being photographed out of character until one day when I was photographed out of character.
Why is it fair that my tax dollars are going to subsidize Solindra's loans?
Well, but the thing, but that's but yeah, yes, but
that's not fair.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat?
In an uncertain world, in a chaotic time, justice wears a mask.
To describe knowing would be a science fiction mystery thriller, if one had to encapsulate it in a genre, it would be all three of those.
He was great. I've worked with a couple of first-time directors, a couple of writer-directors.
Yes.
And often, because they're writers, they're sort of intellectual and in their head. And Shane just seemed to be right on the ball about everything.
Do you feel like, yes, he did. Do you feel like he loved you?
Yes, and still does. Why his affection has faded for you, I don't know.
John is definitely a father. His priority is his responsibility to his son Caleb, because he's a widower. And first of all, he loves his son very much. But
this is from Jim Watson. But I can't pronounce the town you're from, but you're from Mississippi.
Biloxi.
God bless you. What was it about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang that attracted you to the material?
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore. Well, thank you for that spontaneous outburst of applause. It shows me that you feel warmth and you feel love.
First of all, we have several people on the Homeland Security Advisory Committee are Muslim. They've been helping law enforcement for a long time. Mr. Alabieri himself was recognized by the FBI.
I didn't say anything about that. So
And it also shows me that you can read those signs pretty good. I'm pretty excited about having my own show. I'm also a little bit scared, but that's my prerogative as a woman, to be scared, you know. And so I'm going to indulge myself and feel scared, and I'm also going to indulge myself and bring out a man to lean on. So if you don't mind, man?
Representative, I'm not going to get into a debate about some of this.
I'm asking you if you know simple facts.
I would like to say...
You say you're not going to get into debate. I don't want to debate this.
This is the famous Krupnik jewel. Have you ever heard of it?
Get busy living or get busy dying. That's goddamn right.
You hate to be asked what things mean. I realize that you almost have to apologize to ask someone who's considered an artist, as you are, what they mean by something, because you're asking them to...
Real knife. That's all right. You can afford it. You're the boss.
That was from a legend. Yes.
For the second time in my life, I'm guilty of committing a crime. Parole violation. Of course, I doubt they'll toss up any roadblocks for that. Not for an old crook like me.
Nelson Mandela woke up to freedom this morning in the spectacular surroundings of Bishop's Court, Archbishop Desmond Tutu's official residence on the slopes of Table Mountain. His wife Winnie at his side, the ANC leader appeared for the world's cameras in what must be one of the world's most beautiful gardens. There could be no greater contrast to the bleak years on Robben Island and inside Pollsmoor Prison. After the hiatus of yesterday, the release, rally and near riot, today an image of peace and quiet. Before Nelson Mandela plunged into the first international news conference of his life.
Mr. Mandela, James Robbins, BBC News from London. Can you describe your emotions as you came out of the prison for us yesterday, and also your first impressions of the South Africa you've so far been able to see?
I must confess I'm unable to describe my emotions.
Not for an old crook like me. Fort Hancock, Texas, please. I find I'm so excited I can barely sit still or hold a thought in my head. I think it's the excitement only a free man can feel. A free man at the start of a long journey whose conclusion is uncertain. I hope I can make it across the border. I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams.